Welcome to this session at the Scottish Learning Festival 2021. My name is Joan Esson. I am Her Majesty's Inspector of Education. I'm joined by two colleagues, Lisa Marie McDonnell and Gary Johnston. The purpose of this session is to learn from excellent practice from the inspection of St Ninian's High School, East Renfrewshire Council. For this, we welcome the head teacher, John Doherty, his staff and his pupils to describe their practice, which will be followed by an opportunity to ask questions. Firstly, I would like to invite Gary to outline some protocols.
Come on, the videos will come on and then it'll finish, so just leave it.
Thank you, Joan. Just some protocols. Could I ask colleagues to turn off your microphone when you're not speaking, as that will prevent any background noise and interference. A reminder that you can use the chat pane to make any comment or ask questions for others in the session to see, and we'd ask you please to use that. We're looking forward to good use of the chat pane this morning. If you lose connection, don't worry. You can just rejoin, use your joining instructions. And if there are any technical issues, you can use the Speakeasy support chat function, which is in the portal as well. We would encourage you to tweet about your experience. If so, please use the hashtag #SLF Online. Don't worry if you're joined by a cat, a dog, or a child. Sit them down, they'll enjoy the session too. But we hope that you enjoy the session with St Ninians this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. The head teacher will shortly present his school's very best practice. As an introduction to that, I'd like to highlight that John's leadership of change in the school was evidenced as sector leading in our inspection, as well as raising attainment and achievement. I highlight this with great respect and from a robust inspection evidence base. I know that John's presentation will be about the holistic leadership of everyone at St Ninian's High School. While everyone plays their part, John, as head teacher, was driving and planning strategically in an excellent way, with a constant clear purpose and drive to continue to sustain high standards in curriculum, pedagogy and assessment, and to support young people's well-being and individual learning and development needs. Her Majesty's Inspectors of Education evidenced a climate of aspiration in the school, which promotes that there is no limit to what can be achieved for the young people of St Ninian's High School. Very importantly, this is underpinned by gospel values, the Catholic faith, mutual respect, and nurturing relationships. At the root of John's success is his love for teaching and being a head teacher. He receives great satisfaction from seeing pupils develop and become confident individuals who are ready for the next stage in their lives. Since the inspection, John has received further well-deserved recognition for his services to education over a 41-year career. This includes being awarded an OBE in the Queen's Honour List. It gives me great pleasure to invite the head teacher at St Ninian's High School, John Doherty, to share the school's excellent and outstanding standard. Thanks, John.
Okay. Thank you, Joan, and good morning to delegates and colleagues who join with us today. The vision of St Ninian's is ultimately what has guided me as the head teacher of St Ninian's High School. That vision, let youth flourish, encapsulates everything that we hope to achieve. And it's very much aligned with the refreshed vision of Curriculum for Excellence, its accompanying pedagogy, and the broader educational goals for life beyond school. And they have become far more pronounced over the last 18 months. It's a vision for education that looks beyond our core epistemic aims, and it offers, as Joan has said, that holistic experiences that promotes flourishing in its widest sense. And that is receiving greater attention in Scottish education, but in education beyond Scotland at this moment in time, allowing our young people to fulfil their potential while maximising their life satisfaction. So in covering today's theme of sustaining high levels of attainment in its broadest sense, we're concentrating our presentations across 4 key themes. Catherine Boyle will focus on learning and teaching, which over the last 18 months recognises that without great people, our staff, our parents and our young people, the vision that we have would be irrelevant. At the same time, we are also looking to cultivate deeper learning experiences, and our CLP programme has been taking a closer look at examples of key pedagogical evidence through the work of people like Roshenshine, making learning stick, and areas such as metacognition. Jennifer Wilson, who has faced the challenges of leading our outstanding vocational curriculum, and she captures in her presentation the aspirations of our young people, but again reinforcing that curriculum for excellence, principles of breadth, depth, choice, challenge, enjoyment, and the relentless focus on sustaining positive destinations. We then pass to Jacqueline Marshall, who has been working on the area of additional support for learning. And again, an area that has required a real close look over the last 18 months. And Jacqueline has been taking a particular interest in ensuring that we have the staffing levels, the professional learning, and the voice of our students addressing the range of challenges facing the 26% of our pupils who present with an ASN requirement. And finally, we'll also hear from Charlene McCallum, who has had a focus on well-being over these last 18 months with the delivery of targeted bespoke programmes addressing the wide range of needs which have become more apparent but are not unique to the last 18 months. And finally, a word about the confidence and trust of our parents and carers and our young people. And that has been the foundation that has led to successful change in St Ninians High School over many, many years. We are not predetermining the outcomes of the recent OECD report and the national review that's now taking place. But these offer an opportunity for a school like St Ninians to re-examine what we do and to explore alternatives for the future. It's not in our school's DNA to pass on the opportunity to reflect and simply to stick with the status quo, simply because it is what we have always done. If we do make any changes, and those changes will be illustrated by our speakers, it will be because we are convinced that they will help deliver a significantly improved educational experience for our young people and prepare them even better to serve and to help shape a more equitable Scotland in their adult lives. So that vision is what drives us, it's what inspires us, and it's what's been the passion of mine for the years in which I have been head teacher in St Ninians. And I'm now going to pass to Catherine Boyle to take us forward.
And this is done in a collaborative way with all stakeholders and with pupils always at the centre.
Microphone on. The microphone's not on. Start again.
Good morning, everyone. Within St Ninians High School, we have a climate of ambition within all classes, ensuring high quality learning and teaching with challenge, depth and pace of learning as a constant and consistent focus. Our timetable allows for a genuine integration of academic and vocational courses, enhancing opportunities for all young people, as advocated in the recent OECD report. There is clear progression for every child in their chosen pathway, and this is done in a collaborative way with all stakeholders and with pupils always at the centre, reinforcing the key principles of a curriculum for excellence. Choice is very much embraced by our young people, and this is an ongoing process which opens up the curriculum further as pupils progress in their education. Our teachers are empowered to lead learning and are highly experienced and skilled professionals with a thorough knowledge and understanding of the courses they are leading. We are very proud of our sector-leading CLPL programme, as was identified during the inspection. There is constant review and development of this programme to ensure staff are supported and, like the pupils they teach, are also given the opportunity to flourish in their careers. Crucially, our staffing is directed in a very positive way to ensure the highest levels of teachers. Critical to the success of our young people is providing additional support when necessary through timely interventions. This strategic use of staffing serves to support further development of staff and to allow teachers to focus on their very important role. Ensuring the delivery of an excellent remote learning standard has been fundamental to the holistic success of our young people in the 2021 ACM process. This is an ongoing focus in the school as we continue to support pupils who have been required to self-isolate but can continue to engage in their learning through digital platforms. We have a relentless focus on the use of data to get the very best outcomes for young people and to drive improvements within our school. These outcomes really do contribute to the full formation of the child, and so this tracking extends to both wellbeing and engagement tracking, which took place during the remote learning programme. Tracking even begins before our young people set foot in St Ninians through the cluster work that takes place. There's a gradient of learning between primary and secondary, and our departments use standardised test data and teacher judgments to ensure a smooth transition for pupils to secondary school. We are very much a data-rich school, and this has always been very important, but never more so in the last 2 years, where teachers used their strong departmental evidence to help inform teacher judgments for the 2020 SQA model. Staff within our school are proficient in the use of data. Teachers engage in CLPL to ensure that they are data literate and therefore are highly skilled in manipulation of data for use at every level. Teachers are confident using class and departmental tracking to direct learning and to provide feedback for progression. Further to this, teachers overtake forensic interpretation of whole school tracking to compare progress across subjects. Principal teachers of curriculum, pastoral and deputy head teachers work collegiately to ensure the attainment and achievement of pupils in all pathways. In this way, departmental data informs whole school analysis and allows for further interrogation of progress and to ensure equity within highlighted groups of pupils. As per our reporting calendar, whole school tracking takes place 3 times per year to ensure that there's a continuous cycle of review and feedback for our pupils. This is very much a collegiate approach, which is in line with pupil and parental expectations, so that there is a regular and accurate assessment of a child's strengths and areas for development, always with the understanding that there's no limit to the ambition for a young person in St Ninians. We adopt a collaborative and proactive multi-layered approach to targeted interventions involving pupils, teachers, principal teachers and deputy head teachers. Teachers and pupils understand the need for these targeted interventions and they are very welcomed as part of our self-evaluation and progression. In the first instance, pupils are engaged in regular and effective feedback for learner conversations. Principal teachers of pastoral also work as critical support for the young people and the link to parents and carers. Our strategic staffing model allows for a variety of targeted support, whether it's one-to-one, small group working, supported study or timetable tutorials which run in addition to classes. Pupils are empowered to lead learning and therefore a significant number of S6 pupils act as mentors for younger peers. In this way, pupils are shown the stepping stones to the next stage in their learning. The senior leadership team work together to ensure that support is distributed in a fair and equitable way that embraces every child. At a whole school level, mentoring schemes help to guide pupils on how to achieve their full potential by taking an analytical approach to study methods, organisation of work and the management of time and resources. Of course, as with any intervention, success will only come if pupils respond to and act on the advice given. Analysis of our tracking information, and more formally insight data, tells us that these targeted interventions have a positive impact when we examine working grades throughout the year, compared to the final results awarded. These targeted interventions continued throughout lockdown, with pupils receiving phone calls from pastoral teachers and deputy head teachers. And as soon as we were able to, within government guidelines, pupils who were highlighted as not engaging through the engagement tracking were invited to attend our hub, where they had regular contact with class teachers to support their learning and to bring them back on track. Even during challenging times, we always have a clear focus on achieving the best possible outcomes for our young people, and lockdown didn't change our ambition for every child. The alternative certification model was a rigorous process that delivered high outcomes as a result of thoroughness. Our successful remote learning programme, followed by a blended learning approach when pupils transitioned back into school, ensured that pupils had maximum exposure to learning and teaching in order to lay the foundations for a successful ACM. Further to this, we ran a very successful Easter school, in which over 60% of the senior pupils attended. Our robust assessments followed SQA guidelines to ensure a comprehensive suite of demonstrated evidence was submitted for every child in the senior phase. This ensured there was high teacher confidence in the provisional data that was submitted. Rigorous quality assurance within departments and at authority level ensured that data was interrogated and accurate. Moderation is a key strength within departments, and as a high number of our teachers work within the SQA, they have a deepened understanding of the high standards and expectations required. This was critical in ensuring a robust process. We felt it was vital to ensure that pupils received effective feedback for learning through the ACM programme, and clear and concise communication was key, with all stakeholders involved, particularly since the process of rewarding results was so unfamiliar. During this process, the head teacher had a weekly CLPL focus on effective feedback to ensure staff confidence was high. Following evaluation of the process, we are happy that out of 905 candidates, we had less than 85 inquiries about provisional estimates. Furthermore, we only had 28 appeals made to the SQA, suggesting that the communication regarding estimates was clear and accurate. As a school, as we reflect on the process, we are never complacent and always look for areas in which we can make progress. And therefore, we continue to have a focus on evaluation and feedback of assessment, as was highlighted in the OECD report, and also to build an assessment process at each of our departments. We will now watch a short video of two senior pupils who reflect on their experience within our school. Thank you.
The second COVID-19 lockdown occurred at a rather unfortunate time for us students. It was on the second half of the 2020 to 2021 school year, and many of us were preparing to set evidence gathering assessments for National SQA Awards. Now, this was of course a very busy and stressful time for us students, but the incredible teaching staff at St Ninians really helped us to alleviate that stress through their creation of a well-structured online learning experience. They made a well-formatted day plan which replicated the normal school day, in which teachers would post class materials and conduct live lessons at the same time as we would have had them if it was a normal school day. This went a tremendously long way in keeping our routines in a fixed way as they usually were, which helped us keep motivated in this incredibly busy time. Teachers were also incredibly helpful and approachable when coming to them with any questions that we had about our studies, either online or when we returned back to school.
The teachers really did do their best to ensure we reached our full potential in all of the subjects we were studying. We were given the opportunity to set multiple assessments, which gave us many chances to produce evidence characteristic of our true abilities. We were given as much time as possible to prepare for these, and also given the chance to revise for them with a teacher present through the blended learning approach and through Easter School. Teachers, as Luke said, were always available to answer any and every question, even if this was over email. Throughout my time at St Ninians, I have always been given feedback that allowed me to push on, continue with my courses, and eventually come out with the best grade possible for myself. This feedback continued through both the lockdown periods, just in a slightly different manner, for example, through Microsoft Teams. Throughout this challenging time, pastoral support were active. For example, one of the things they did was giving each of their students a little call to see how they were and if there was anything they could do to help them through it.
Hi, I'm going to speak to you about sustaining high levels of positive destinations. At St Ninians High School, our school leaver positive destinations has been 98% over the past 3 years. We were particularly proud to sustain a high figure for our 2020 leavers, especially when the pandemic presented additional challenges. This is something we were aware of for those leaving in 2021 and also thinking ahead for our 2022 school leavers. We have put additional measures in place, however we feel that our success has been achieved through the areas of a broader curriculum, tracking and monitoring, and targeted support. As a school, we are committed to providing a broad curriculum for our pupils on top of the traditional courses that we offer up to advanced higher level. Examples of these additional courses are listed here and include National Progression Award in Beekeeping, which Jacqueline Marshall will expand on later in this presentation. This broader curriculum allows us to meet the needs of pupils with varying ranges of abilities and interests as we develop their skill set and qualifications. Furthermore, we are strong advocates of the vocational opportunities for our young people. The East Renfrewshire Vocational Programme has been in place for over 15 years. It is well established and has been going from strength to strength. There is around 60 course options available to senior phase pupils across the authority. The range of choice supports pupils with different degrees of skills and interests, as well as ability, with courses ranging from level 1 to 8. We have an excellent uptake from our students, 82 pupils this year, 21 of which are undertaking a foundation apprenticeship. These courses are held in high esteem by all pupils and their parents across all equity groups. They provide our pupils with the opportunity to develop new skills out with the school environment and have led to a smooth progression into apprenticeships, employment, college and university. In addition to this, we have developed our own partnership with South Lanarkshire and Glasgow Clyde College to deliver an in-house vocational programme. We have a variety of courses that were selected to meet the needs and interests identified by our young people. We made a commitment to refurbish rooms in our school in order to have purpose-built accommodation. These courses have allowed us to create bespoke curriculums, providing new and varied experiences for pupils from third year up. These courses support pupils' career options and applications for college and university. They also increase employability skills, supporting our young people to access part-time and full-time jobs. Depending on the course, it is either part of the options programme or completed as an additional subject. We are in our third year of this in-house programme. In the first year, we had 62 young people engaged. This has increased to 110 this year. In total, we have 192 young people benefiting from a vocational course where they are developing skills for life, learning and work. The second area that has contributed to our success is tracking and monitoring. As a school, we value the information that the 16+ Data Hub provides. Ensuring we have collated complete and accurate information helps us to support our young pupils to the best of our ability. We have monthly meetings attended by school staff, Skills Development Scotland, the Learning Choices Coordinator from East Renfrewshire, and our link for the Youth Employment Programme. Working together, we closely monitor and implement support. We use a combination of our knowledge of pupils, attainment tracking and monthly downloads from the Data Hub to inform these discussions and identify those who are at risk of a negative destination, and also identify school leavers who are currently in a negative destination. We continue to track pupils for a year after they leave us. We use a coordinated approach with each stakeholder contributing their knowledge of the young person. This allows us to identify action points and continue to provide targeted support for individuals and access opportunities such as career coaching, work placements and mock interviews, to name a few. All of this is with a view to ensure that our young people achieve a positive destination, but most importantly, the right destination, which will be sustained by the young person. Finally, looking at some of the targeted support that we put in place. We offer a variety of different supports, including referrals to the East Renfrewshire Positive Pathway Programme and Youth Scotland Guarantee. These are programmes that provide direct support to our young people, both group work and one-to-one sessions. Young people are directed to opportunities to build upon their skill set and confidence. They are assisted in finding the correct pathway and supported with application forms and interview techniques. In addition to this, we continue to build upon our employer partnership spreadsheet. We make use of every opportunity. We have set up an alumni network. We make use of the skill set of our parents and actively seek support from employers across the different professions and organisations. With this in place, we are able to arrange and direct support and opportunities to our pupils, such as career talks and mentoring, and many more. We use the Data Hub to facilitate this. We also work with the University of Glasgow, identifying pupils to take part in their widening participation programme, such as Top Up, Reach and Access. Our career advisors from Skills Development Scotland support our young people at key stages throughout the year, offering group work and career interviews, providing excellent career information, advice and guidance. We have an extensive programme in place delivered by Pastoral Support to pupils with to support pupils with their research and applications for college and university. This includes mentoring from staff across the school. I hope that I've given you a quick overview of what we do in support of our young people to sustain positive destinations. We will now have a few videos presented by pupils, as well as our PT Support for Learning, Jacqueline Marshall, who is currently off on maternity leave. They will discuss the various support available and their experiences. Thank you.
A great way for pupils in our school to understand that they are meeting the standards expected of them is through achieving highly in their report cards. These are issued 3 times a year, which allows pupils to have visible evidence of the progress they have made and to really feel like they're improving. Plus, this data is an invaluable resource for teachers, as it allows them to target pupils who are clearly struggling and provide them with extra help, as well as encouraging them to be consistently evaluating their courses and their assessment styles. In addition to this official reporting system, pupils are also provided with targeted feedback each and every lesson to contribute to a rewarding and reassuring environment which ensures that each pupil can achieve their maximum potential within the school.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Marshall and I'm the Principal Teacher for Support for Learning in St Ninians High School in Giffnock. I'm going to talk to you today just about some of the themes that we use in Support for Learning. We have a school roll of 1,800 pupils, just to give you a bit of background, with 26% of our learners having an identified disability. In order to ensure that the above quote there is achieved from the above quote from Education Scotland, where we have this inclusive, caring environment that's striving to meet the learning potential of all our young people, we've taken a school approach in terms of what support for learning means. And by that I mean the makeup of the support for learning department. We have 26 staff members across the school, 1 in every single department, at times more than 1 in each department, who are identified support for learning representatives. And that ensures that across the school, as much as it is every member of staff's duty, that we have these key representatives who can support a wee bit more thoroughly the support for learning remit and role within our school. One of the key principles that we look to develop and embed in everything that we do for support for learning is ensuring that we are helping to improve the self-advocacy of our young people, based on the belief that if they can advocate for themselves and say that support is working for you, that support's not working for me, this is the barrier I have, then once they go on to further education, onto the world of work, we are ensuring that they are prepared to be able to voice their needs and requirements beyond the scope of St Ninians High School. There are 5 areas here that I'm going to talk about what we do in terms of support for learning. These 5 areas were pulled from our HMIE inspection report and are areas where we have a real strength in, and it's just to highlight how we achieve each of these: climate of ambition, growing improvement, professional learning, this robust understanding of progress and attainment, and this wide range of achievement opportunities to support wellbeing for our young people through our support for learning. If we look at the first one then, climate of ambition, every young person is supported to achieve their fullest potential. This is key for us, and knowing our learners is key here. We have an effective transition programme that obviously runs for all of our primary 7 pupils joining us in S1, and we have an extended transition programme that runs for certain young people in primary 7, sometimes for a one-to-one meeting with pupil and parent, then building up to small groups, sometimes going straight to small group support, and also sometimes starting earlier than P7 in primary 5, primary 6, depending on what the needs of the young person are and what's seen as being key for them to transition successfully and effectively into our school environment and community. Once they're with us in St Ninians, we've obviously gained a vast amount of knowledge from this transition programme, and that is shared with all of our staff. We then continue to improve on this and ensure that we are being as proactive as we can with the support for young people through our Learner Conversations programme. As I've said, we have these 26 members of staff who are Support for Learning representatives, and we deliver in-house CLPL workshops where we discuss how best to deliver a learner conversation using question techniques to ensure that we're getting everything we can out of the young person in terms of whether the sport's working for them and what barriers they're experiencing across the curricular areas. From that, we can then put support in place, and targeted support could be one-to-one support, further PSA, it could be a little bit of work on certain strategies and certain subjects to help them. It might be that they need some group support. We run a number of groups such as dyslexia strategies and communication comics for young people with social communication difficulties, reading for comprehension, where we're building that understanding that your reading skills transfer cross-curricularly, exam techniques, as well as many other groups. We look to put on groups where we see there's a need for our young person, our young people need it, and we always continue to evaluate the groups that we run and see how we can improve on them. We always celebrate the success of our young people, and that shows them that we are as proud of their achievements as they are, and that then strives and pushes them to do better and to continue to achieve because they want to further that as well. And none of this would be possible without the key partnerships that we have with our parents, our carers, our extended Eastern community, where we don't know the answer, and that's sometimes the case. We know where to look for the answer, and that's key to achieving this for our young people. Growing improvement, there's no room for complacency. As I've said, knowledge is key, and we have this openness with our staff and effective communication. Staff will regularly say, I'm not sure how best to support this young person, and I'm not sure what exactly the best strategy is here, and that is fine to say that, so long as they let us know. We can then look to either provide them with support, provide them with CLPL opportunities, or we make contact with executive to see what here. We've done incredible key. We are always reviewing and developing our practice at all times. Professional learning. This, as I've said, is something we believe wholeheartedly in St Ninians. No practitioner is required or expected to be an expert or have a deepened knowledge about all the areas of ESN, but we need to know that we are providing them with everything we can in terms of CLPL, support strategies, opportunities to improve on our own knowledge and understanding, but also that we know where best to access support, and that is where the effective partnerships are key. Without that, we cannot do our job and fulfil the duties to our young people. A robust understanding of attainment and progress. We have appropriate pathways for all our learners, and again, this is key, whether that be an adapted curriculum, a reduced curriculum. We have a number of inclusive pathways and classes with a broad range of qualifications, not just your SQA qualifications, but whether it be John Muir Awards, Princess Trust Awards, any other awards that we feel our young person can achieve and would benefit from. That is what we look to do for our young people. And we look to make our pathways and classes as inclusive as we can. We have a fantastic beekeeping class. There are certain young people in the class go on to study medicine and do an MPA award at level 5 and 6 in beekeeping, and other young people within the class who maybe don't have that academic ability to achieve the NPA award at level 5. Everybody does the John Muir Award and the Discovery Award, so everyone is learning about this fantastic outdoor opportunity and how to beekeep and how wonderful that is, gaining all these practical experiences and achieving this shared success, albeit they're on very different levels in terms of their abilities, and it's fantastic to see them working together in this community way and in such a nurturing and loving environment. And this is something that we are looking to strive to continue, to make sure that our pathways are as inclusive as they can be and that all of our classes are the same as well. Finally, this wide range of achievement opportunities. We must continue to celebrate the success of all our learners. This is what's key, and we do this regularly through our Twitter, through our school website, through just going to speak to the young person, knowing what they're doing in school and out of school, and ensuring that, again, parents are letting us know what they're achieving in school and out of school, and recognising the achievements of all our learners, no matter what they may be, whether they're academic achievements, physical achievements, sports achievements, something they've done in the community. It does not matter what it is. We need to ensure we people that we encourage them to continue to achieve in that way, to strive and develop in order that they are going to achieve their fullest potential. And this for us is key. And it's all of these things pulled together, being done across our whole school, in our whole school community, through our teaching staff, through our pupil support assistants, through the office staff. It doesn't matter who it is. Everyone in our school sharing the success of our young people and celebrating the success of our young people ensures that all of our young people, with or without ASN, are achieving to their fullest potential. Thank you.
Not only does the school achieve the grades it does due to the pupils being taught how to study, as well as receiving reports and assessments throughout the year, it's also due to the relationships formed between pupils and their teachers. The teachers in this school have the utmost support for their pupils, whether this is through supported study after school or in class. We've always been taught how important good mental health is, and due to this, the school offers services such as mental health first aiders, as well as talking about good and bad mental health in PSHE and ways to cope. Knowing there's always someone you can go talk to when things begin to feel a bit much helps take the weight off pupils' shoulders and helps them work to the best of their abilities.
Good morning. Today I will be talking to you about developing and supporting mental health and wellbeing within St Ninians and how we do that on a daily basis. To begin with then, I'd like you to just introduce this slide which highlights the roadmap that I'll be talking about today. To begin with, to improve overall attainment and close the gap between the most and the least disadvantaged within our school, we have adopted a number of intervention strategies to improve outcomes for these young people. For us, partnerships are key to this. Some examples of this are groups within our school that we call bespoke support groups. Articulate to Support, for example, meant that last year, 6 young people within our school achieved a unique bronze awards through the Trinity College in London. These pupils were from a care experience background and learned a unique skill, which was graffiti art. Next, we look at the resilience approach within the school. Again, this is an individualised support group to develop emotional literacy, as well as doing things like identifying a mentor and routine for our young people, which is key. Currently, in S1, in our new S1, we have identified 22 pupils, and in S2, we have 9 pupils engaged within the resilience programme. In addition to that, professional learning and leadership within mental health is key. And some examples of this are this year a member of staff has completed the COSCA Counselling Skills course, and 2 further members of staff have attended COSCA Skills supporting the young people's mental health. The aim? To provide further support and early interventions for our young people to support their mental health. Another group that we are really proud of within the school is the strong links that we've established with the Young Carers service within the school. And key to this is doing things like creating drop-ins, proactive calls, and supporting young people to create their Young Carers statement, giving them that opportunity to be empowered within that. The next element that I'd like to talk about is, and Jennifer has mentioned this as well, but to improve employability skills and ensure sustained positive destinations, we have added value to pupil learning, to volunteering, and support in line with wellbeing. And for us, parents and staff are key to this. Some examples, and Mia did touch on 1 or 2 of these things a moment ago, is that last year we established and continued our mental health pupil committee. This meant that 16 pupils in S6 were trained as mental health ambassadors, allowing them to provide our young people with early and timely support. It then follows on from this is our mental health first aid team within the school. 16 members of staff went through robust training, which means that they are now involved in planning meetings, providing one-to-one support and drop-ins. They were involved in check-in calls during the online learning period, and last year 21 young people were paired with a mental health first aider to receive early and preventative support. Some other examples that you can see there on the roadmap are our wellbeing course, which is a 6-week input programme to highlight elements such as self-esteem, resilience, and the imposter syndrome. This was launched with S2 by the Mental Health First Aid team in June. The programme was praised by parents, and pupils have fully engaged within this, and again with the overall aim of supporting their wellbeing. Finally then, we pride ourselves within St Ninians, about promoting positive mental health within the classroom, starting from the very beginning. Promoting opportunities, for example, for staff to be mental health champions and go through training through organisations such as Place to Be. Finally, to improve young people's overall wellbeing, we establish support early. We put in one-to-one targeted support, we track wellbeing, and we establish positive parental partnerships. Some examples of this, again, that you can see is the one-to-one targeted support. Last year, 38 young people engaged with support from staff who had been trained within this area, were issued with coping tools and strategies. This included also targeted calls, again, during the online period. We have a unique position where we have a member of staff within the school trained in CBT as a fully trained counsellor, and last year 27 pupils received counselling, CBT counselling, again proactive support, and again this continued proactively during lockdown. In terms of tracking wellbeing, pastoral teachers use the Shinari Wellbeing Web to track wellbeing based on the indicators. In addition, data is collected using this method, which includes parents, and it allows us to make early interventions in relation to wellbeing. To go one step further, last year, all pupils in S3 completed a bespoke wellbeing screener. Permission was sought to use this by Warwick Edinburgh, and it was another example of evidence-based data. It was gathered and a preventative targeted approach was established to tackle low moods and provide coping skills. Importantly, this allowed us to support pupils who previously may not have been captured. Extended transitions, I know that Jacqueline has mentioned this, but in relation to mental health and wellbeing, it's important for us that meetings take place each year in June with feeder primary schools. Extensive data is gathered in relation to this and allows us again for early interventions. Last week, we held a mental health partnership evening. Parents could attend workshop-style sessions led by staff who teach the bespoke groups that I mentioned at the very beginning of this, so that we can continue that partnership, and the support that goes on in school can then be shared with parents to continue on at home. This is an effective and important two-prong approach, and evaluations from the evening highlighted parent appreciation and a deeper understanding of support. And finally, I would just like to end by saying that the mental health strategy within St Ninians is a holistic approach based on timely, proactive and preventative interventions which take into consideration varied and wide needs. The overall aim is to provide this support for our young people, and pivotal to this, hopefully that I've shown you, is strong partnerships with staff within the school, as well as supporting agencies and parents.
So that hopefully gives us a picture of some of the different key elements of Let Youth Flourish and how we are continuing to sustain high levels of attainment in its broadest sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John, and to your staff for that very detailed and inspirational account of your very best practice. We're not going to have time for questions. We do apologise for that, but in preparation for the seminar, John has offered to take any questions and for you to contact him. So please take up of that offer. So in conclusion, we had a very rich professional learning as we listened and observed and inquired about the sector leading practice at St Ninians High School. Thank you again to the head teacher, the staff and the pupils for joining us at the Scottish Learning Festival and for their offer of continuing the conversation beyond the festival to support system-wide improvement. Thank you for joining this session, and I hope you continue to have a very productive day. Thank you.